Hello everyone, welcome back to Pommy and Oz. Hope we're all doing absolutely awesome on a tumultuous day. Oh, that was a big word. If you are new around here, smash that like button, hit that subscribe. We're smashing them out, and it's been great to talk about other clubs as well. Really refreshing in this off season. We're here with the penultimate day as we're halfway through the final day of trade period. And let's take a look at what the AFL teams did yesterday. Let's have a look at the first one. And here we are. Hawthorn sold Jack Gunston, pick 48 and a future fourth to the Lions. And the Lions didn't really give up much here. Gunston was quite public about him wanting to try something new. And I think it's an absolute great acquisition for Brisbane here. The guy's record against the top sides is phenomenal. And that's probably one of the things that you'd say Brisbane's forward line particularly kind of goes a bit insular, doesn't it, when it plays them top sides. His craft, I think, in working with players like Cam Rayner and stuff as well, he'll get so much out of that, because I think that's one of the weaknesses with Cam is when he does get in them forward positions, I don't think he presents so well. And Gunston, for me, is one of the best in the league at working that third position and really finding good leading patterns and making himself available. Incredibly experienced as well. And the knowledge that Gunston will bring is just another level, isn't it? For Hawthorn, I think he presents decent-ish value as well. Do you know what I mean? They were going to lose him anyway. A nice little tasty early third as well for them to maybe just get some top-up players and get a project in. There's a project building at Hawthorn, and they seem to have been in a perpetual rebuild, haven't they, Hawthorn, since then? So I'm looking, since they last won one. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Sam Mitchell does here, because I think with the picks they've got, he's got a real chance here to really stamp his authority on the list. We're expecting to talk about Tom Mitchell tomorrow. So, I mean, this is a decent deal for both parties. And we move on, don't we? Big one then. Let's talk about this. Brodie Grundy, 27 to that very, very big trade. And this one where it's the finer details of this contract really, for me, make this fair or not. For Melbourne, it's a logical sense, isn't it? Like, it's a dream team. Let's be honest. It's Gerrard and Lampard. But that being said, we know what happened when you paired them together. How do they work? That's going to be an intriguing one. How does it affect your super coach? That's an intriguing one as well. I think something that we're all asking. Collingwood, they get it off the books. It's a mid-second rounder. So some tasty little morsels for them there. Might even see them do some things in the live draft. I wouldn't be surprised, particularly with that Jefferson, if they start feeling he will go. Because if they can come out of this with Frampton being signed as well, which we'll talk about later, but also a Jefferson as well, and really start to build that, I think that's an incredibly exciting time. If they can get Lewis Hayes in, Frampton protects him, and they get Jefferson in, and they've got that forward as well. It's a really exciting thing with McStay there as well to help protect him. Decent bit of business all around, though, for me. It's not the most exciting trade. I think probably Collingwood would have wanted it first. Melbourne, obviously, looking at that risk strategy, injury, high-value deal, obviously compensated numerically in the contract. So it's going to be one of them ones that, it's a wait and see. I mean, it could even work that if he gets injured again, Collingwood have got a huge dub, haven't they? So it's going to be that intriguing thing. But it's going to be very good, very interesting to see what they do. Max Gawn and Grundy, I think we're all excited about seeing that. The Collingwood, do you know what I mean? I don't think they've got anything to worry, because they made finals without him. So they've proven that they can do it. And you'd imagine that they're going to get infinitely stronger this year anyway. So intriguing times. I'm looking forward to seeing what tomorrow brings for the Pies. And then we go on to Jack Bowes, pick 7, future third. This is probably the shocker of the trade period, wasn't it? An absolute shocker, this one. It's going to be an interesting one moving forward, how this works and the loopholes, because obviously Geelong have somehow got infinitely stronger, which is one of them worries, isn't it, in the league. Pick 7 going to them, Jai Clark. So effectively, that's Jai Clark and Jack Bowes. Future third makes you question it, doesn't it? Makes you question why the AFL got involved, because obviously they're not quite happy with this deal, which I suspect you may see the end of here. But well played, Geelong. You've got to say that. Geelong, fantastic in having that list space to do that. Makes you just really admire their list strategy. Gold Coast, though, is one of them ones that I look at and I go, back-ended deals. You look when that was signed, 2019, they were in a bit of strife and it's starting to catch up with them. They've got next to nothing in return, and okay, they've got salary cap, but they have got some tasty picks in this draft. So, I mean, that being said, they will be able to replace him. Jack Bowles, great depth player as well for Geelong, which is what they dine out on, isn't it? And the fact they've got Jai Clark, it's a bit Mickey Mouse, isn't it? But what can you say? This one here, I really like this deal. Billy Frampton, much not underutilized at Adelaide, I would say. Future third is next to nothing. They've had great success with Roughhead when they had him, Collingwood, and I think this is another one here. The pure size of the lad as well, 200 centimetres and high 90 kegs. The guy's an animal. The guy's an animal in size, and I think he'll get some good chances. The highlight package amused me because obviously that was the week Curnow gave him a bath, but I don't mind it. I really don't. I think it's a really risk-free strategy for them. For Collingwood, I think it's a very good signing. It fills a need, and he slots straight into there. And McRae's had a really good habit of really maximising the potential of some of these players. So this is going to be one of them ones that, you know, for me, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it pans out in the future and in the next couple of weeks. This one here is the exciting trade. GWS giving away Jacob Hopper, getting 31 and a future first, probably about his money. I don't think Richmond have overpaid a second and a first, probably for a calibre of that. Makes Richmond infinitely stronger. That midfield is incredibly tasty now. GWS continuing that conveyor belt of players coming out and then replenishing it. They're really becoming the feeder team of the AFL now. And it's nice to see another team do a deal with GWS as opposed to Carlton. Makes Richmond strong. The future first for GWS is intriguing. An early, well, a late second for them. It's going to be interesting because GWS have got a plethora of picks. So I think at this stage, they won't really mind. They're going to get replacements for this where they are. Cadman comes in, which suits a whole massive hole straight away from them. And there's going to be a few tasty midfielders around their next picks. So they've got the job done to replace Hopper and Taranto. Obviously, they've got to do. So it's going to be a very interesting thing for GWS. It's one of them things, though, that the AFL has to look at, I think, with a lot of talk about are they going to go to Tasmania and whatnot. It's one of them things that I would say that it's a very livable city, Sydney, even though it's expensive. And we seem to constantly see this. So it'd be interesting with Tasmania how they alleviate this, because I do think that that's a ramification of history and location with GWS. You'd probably rather play for Sydney, obviously with their South Melbourne connection, over GWS. So it's going to be that kind of thing there. They keep harbouring it in. And is it a case that you maybe need more talent from Sydney to come through the draft? Like some of the other interstate clubs have had great success just drafting locally. It's a shame for GWS because they were so close. And it'd be interesting to see if we could see a timeline where they won it. That's it then. That is the roundup. Looking forward to doing tomorrow where we conclude the trade and draft period. As always, this is a pleasure. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, enjoy your day. Pow out.